I'm Allison Ball, Kentucky State Auditor.
Hi, Allison. Thank you for coming and spending some time with us.
Glad to be here.
At Smart Women, Smart Money, we're always looking for ways to get women more involved in the financial field. What what drew you to working in finance and public being a public servant?
So I've told this story a lot because it's a big story for my life, but it really began when I was a little kid. My mom and dad gave me an allowance to teach me about the value of the dollar and just to be good at money management and learn how to save and invest. So they gave me $5 a week, $20 a month, and I spent it all as soon as I got it. So I was not learning the lesson they wanted me to learn. And they cut off my allowance and they said, you're going to have to figure out some way to earn money on your own. That ended up being a hugely significant thing for me because I started my own business. I started a pencil business. I sold pencils for 25 cents each or four for $1, and they were positive pencils. They had sayings on them like, believe in yourself, I'm a winner, you can do it. So I sold those and it became a great income generator for me. As a kid, I didn't need an allowance anymore. I made a lot more money doing it that way. And I learned so many things about hard work and entrepreneurialism and the free enterprise system. So it was a huge lesson for me as a kid, and it stuck with me all these years. I'm a big believer in financial literacy, but I also know that you have to teach people these things. So I'm a big believer in implementing programs to teach younger children and college students, anybody who's at a point of life where they want to learn this. As you always say, it's never too early, never too late. So I really do think that these are important lessons you can learn at any point in your life.
That's so awesome. Tell us what the Auditor of Kentucky does.
Sure. So everyone thinks when you are the auditor that you're basically like the IRS and you're coming in and catching people on their taxes. That is not what I do. So I'm a protector of taxpayer dollars. I'm a protector of the way the government is supposed to work. So I do a lot with money. We check the books and make sure things are balanced and they're correct. And there's no embezzlement, no fraud, anything like that, no waste. That happens all the time protecting taxpayer dollars. So if it involves government expenditures, anything like that, that's what we do. But it's also bigger than that. We also check and make sure that you're complying with the law and that people are getting a return on their investment that they're supposed to. So it's a really broad job. It's very worthwhile because it's making sure that you're protecting people on all areas.
Sounds like you have a lot of impact on your state.
Well, I believe that I do. I love doing it. I was state treasurer before I was state auditor. Both are great jobs. I really enjoy being state auditor, though, because the powers are so broad. And again, it's about protecting taxpayer dollars, but it's also about making sure there's compliance with the law. So I get to do a lot, even when it comes to foster care and our school systems. So it's not just the money. The money's important, but there are other things, too.
What are some of the top priorities you have this year?
Oh, great question. So we've done a lot on education just recently, and I didn't really expect that coming into this role. Again, it's an auditor, so you think you're checking the books, and we do check the books, but we do more than just that. So we just finished a Kentucky Department of Education audit, which is massive, and it deals with everything from preschool to bureaucracy to making sure our proficiency levels are good in reading and math and science, making sure that you've got school counselors in place, even protecting against sexual harassment when it's student athletes, so like middle school and high school athletes. So it covers a lot having to do with education. It was a huge document, and we're very, very proud of that. And we're also about to do our two biggest school districts in Kentucky, the one for Louisville and the one for Lexington.
That's fantastic. I had no idea that your office touched that many entities within your state.
Yeah, there's always a bandwidth issue. So there's much that we can do, and it's sort of like managing your resources.
For sure, for sure. Tell me, what are some of so like financial literacy is something that you mentioned is very important to you personally and to your state. Is there an impact that your role as Auditor of Kentucky that has helped share financial literacy within the state?
Yes, so I did a lot as state treasurer because I got a bill passed to make it a high school requirement for you to be a graduate in Kentucky. So that was a really big, directly impacting everybody who's young in a Kentucky job. This one, it's a little bit not as clear, but we do with finances all the time. So we're making sure that governments are using the money they're supposed to, whether it's the Commonwealth of Kentucky or it's the county you live in or the city that you live in. So a lot of what I do is making sure that your leaders are fiscally responsible and they're doing things the right way. And then we talk about it. So, if somebody has their checks available where anybody can just grab them, that's one of the things we'll talk about. Like, this is not a good practice. So there is sort of like a lesson opportunity whenever you're talking about this. These are best practices. These are not good things to do. It's usually government related, but it's directly transferable to a lot of what real people deal with.
Tell me, I'd like to hit on something you just said. each student that graduates from the state of Kentucky has to take a financial literacy course. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
That is a fabulous threshold for a successful adulthood. So kudos to your work in doing that.
Thank you very much.
That's
Yeah, that was a big effort and
Yeah.
big victory when I got that passed in my first term in office. So it's something that I'm just so deeply proud of, and I believe it'll have a generational impact.
I agree with you. I
Thank
agree
you.
with you. Tell me what you're most proud of. What's to come?
Oh, so I have to answer it this way. One of the things that's kind of neat about my job is that it's coincided with a lot of milestones in my life. So when I first got elected, I was the youngest woman in the country to be elected to statewide office. So I've been in now almost 10 years, which I'm still not that old. So I've had a pretty long track record to begin with. Got married my first year in office, and then we had a really significant milestone is that I gave birth to my son Levi. Within my first term, and I was the first Kentucky constitutional officer to give birth while serving in office.
Wow.
And then I also have my daughter Marigold 3 years later, and I'm the first one to do it twice as a Kentucky statewide elected official. So, that's not necessarily like the job related, but I'm really proud that those things have coincided with my work, because I am a working mom, and I understand what people are going through all over the country when they're working moms, and how you balance your family and a career that pays the bills but is also meaningful. And I do believe that there are ways to balance all those things if God calls you to do all those things. I know a lot of moms who they're dedicated to homeschooling the kids, and that's great, and that's what you want to do, and you're going to be a stay-at-home mom. That's wonderful, but I also want to encourage a lot of moms who feel like that they're called to some other things as well. And so hopefully it gives hope that you can do all of those things, whatever God has called you to do, and you can do it well.
That's fantastic, Allison. Tell me what you would like to have your legacy be as a public servant.
Oh, what a great question. There's so many things that you want to do when you're an elected official, and you've only got so much time to do it.
Yeah.
So I do hope there's some lasting things. It's not just, hey, you did a good job of those 4 years, but we forgot about you when you left. So I do hope there's some lasting things. We've had several projects that I do believe that are going to make generational impacts, like with education, with financial literacy, and I hope those things last far beyond me. But what I really would like to see is, I'm a person of faith. My relationship with Jesus is the most important thing to me. I want to have a strong marriage and strong family, and I hope that what people really remember is, boy, she's someone who lived out her faith, who pointed people to Jesus, and had a strong family at the same time. So I hope that people have the more personal view rather than just the achievement view. Achievement is something I want to do, of course, but I hope those things are what people remember.
Is there anything that you would tell your younger self, or someone else maybe looking to get into the financial world, another young woman, that might be a helpful tip for them?
Yes. So I get to talk to young women a lot, whether they're high school students or younger, or they're college students. And a common characteristic I see, and it's really with women at any age, is that women often self-disqualify. They want to make sure they've read all the books and they've had all the courses and they're have all the advanced degrees before they jump in and do something, even if they have an interest and an aptitude for it. So I usually try to encourage the young women around me, and really any women, don't listen to those voices of self-disqualification. I really believe that you have more to offer than you realize you do. Women are really, really good at kind of talking themselves out of things. And we need everybody's voice at the table and everybody to contribute the way God has made them to be contributing.